Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over how to make dark cinematic trap beats. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited for this one because today we have a very talented producer joining us for the cook-up. He's definitely one of the hardest working producers I know. He's produced for artists like Moneyman, Gunna, Joyner Lucas, Logic, Lil Baby, YFN Lucci, D Watkins, Jack Boy, and a whole bunch of other artists. We got a real cool interview and a cook-up to show you guys today, so let's get into it. With that said, I'd like to welcome to the channel ROCKTEE. Let's go. The first question we'll start off with is, how long you been making beats for?
I've been making beats since 2012.
Okay, so that's coming up, what, like 11 years now?
I would say at least more than 10. It feels like it's been real fast, like it feels like I've been working more than 10 years, but I just keep going forever. That's how it goes.
Do you know what the biggest number of beats you uploaded in 1 year was? I just feel like I remember you uploading it was like 500 or more beats, bro. I was like, huh?
Yeah, I was really putting my foot on the gas on uploading beats, but ultimately doing that led to me getting that ISIS song with Joyner Lucas and Logic.
All right, so we're gonna be in D minor for this. I kind of want to go with like a darker vibe because ROCKTEE would definitely go crazy on that. Let's bring up the BPM to like 160 something. He can mess around with that later. And let's go ahead and just place a note on the 1 of the scale being D. Let's build out a chord. So skip 1, place, skip 1, place. I'm gonna delete the 3rd right here and just run with the root and the 5th. And then let's place a note right here, just an octave of the root note. Let's actually bring this up to E though. And then bring this up 1 octave. There we go. That's nice. And I kind of want to have like a bouncy feel to this. I'm going to use tension notes that are close together in the scale like this. There's like a little bit of rhythm going here, which I like. And let's start higher over here. Same, just tension notes that are close together. There we go. And then I'm gonna throw these a little bit off time, so there's like a little bit of realism to them. That sounds good. I like that. Let's talk about that placement though, because you kind of beat me to it, bro. So give us like the quick story about like how that came out. I know you kind of talked about it being a beat that was on YouTube, but that song was huge.
It was like a regular day, just cooking up, making like 5 beats a day, 10 beats a day. And I was going through Splice, and I always go through random stuff because sometimes they got stuff categorized weird, so to where you might miss it. I just was going through random sounds and I came across that loop, and it sounded like to me like some battle rap. You know, like some battle rap vibes. And I was like, okay, like I don't gotta be like that on my channel, so let me just try to see what I could put up together. And I would just gave it like, you know, a simple bounce. I remember when I posted that beat and my friend pulled up and we were just, you know, like about to go get something to eat, and I was like, look, I just made this beat, Joyner Lucas type beat. He's like, oh, sounds different. But he didn't really care because, you know, he's not a rapper. You know, he don't really care about music like that. But we just didn't think it would end up being like, you know, hey, you know, now you're gonna be like, you know, really getting a lot of views on this beat that you made in under like 30 minutes, because that's really what it was. I tried to give it more like a battle rap vibe because I was trying to make that beat targeted towards, you know, maybe an artist who's a battle rapper. I was thinking who's a lyricist that comes off with an aggressive tone. Of course, Joyner Lucas. Luckily it was him. You know, it was actually Joyner Lucas that hit me up on Instagram 4 days after I posted it.
Okay, so you uploaded this as like a type beat on YouTube, and then 4 days after uploading, he hit you with the screenshot of your beat on YouTube. That's
said,
crazy.
Send it, it's up. And then I removed it immediately, sent him the track outs. It was for about a few weeks. He was telling me he wanted to send the track outs between Timbaland or Boy Wonder. He wanted them to do 2 different versions, and he wanted to pick which version that they both come up with, and he wanted to figure out which one was better. So he ended up going with Boy Wonder's version, and he mentioned like a few days before the release, he mentioned that Logic would be featured on it, and that blew me away because I remember listening to Logic when I was like in high school, and I felt like it was a full circle moment for me when he told me that, because I would have never thought out of the left field Logic would pull up on the track.
It's a lot to happen in 4 days after uploading the beat, bro. That's crazy. Because we're gonna mess with this with like Portal and stuff. Let's drop down to A maybe. Yep, then one really low note here, then shift over, control down. Let's add in a couple notes that are a little bit higher, just like little accent notes. We could go like this. Hold on. Yeah, so I like how that sounds. What I'm gonna do is duplicate that, and in Analog Labs, the strings blend, and there's another one in here called Icy Violin. I like both of those. Let's layer it in, see what this sounds like. Let's talk a little bit about the music you got with Money Man, because that's definitely how I had come across your stuff, especially your interview with DJ Payne. And I've always told you this when I was watching the interview, and then you brought up all the work you had with Money Man. I've been a huge Money Man fan for a long time, and I started to hear you name the songs that you did, and you guys brought up the Epidemic tape and how many songs you had on there alone. And I'm like, wait. So that's the tag. And then I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, bro, this man has damn near the whole tape. Just off that tape, how many songs do you have on that?
It's got to at least be more than like 8.
Crazy, bro.
That's the project that I have the most songs with for sure, but I love that album.
Me too, bro. So you've been on multiple albums with Money Man since then, even the new one that just dropped. So do you know off the top of your head, just for fun, bro, because we're already talking about, you're already forgetting how many you had on one. You had damn near the whole album. Do you know how many songs you have with him that are released right now?
At least around like maybe 15. That to me feels fulfilling, because I remember first listening to Money Man when he had the song Just Like Me. I always thought that, like, you know, Money Man was one of them rappers that, like, you know, you definitely got to put in work to, you know, to get there to work with him. And it just ended up happening because I hit him up back in 2020. I just got done doing my taxes, and I just was on my phone, and like I was on my way home. I saw Money Man posted on his story. I just replied saying, yo, I really want to send beats to you. You know, you're one of my favorite rappers. This is something that I really want. And then he said, let's go. And he sent his number. And when he said that, like, the beats that I made were kind of already in his vibe anyway. So like, so landing that's why how that whole project Epidemic ended up coming to be, with having a lot of songs on it, because my sound was already kind of in his range. So it ended up just working out based off of, like, you know, chemistry. You know, me and him, we like to go for the same type of vibes.
So watch, check this out. Let's go over here, Control A, Control Alt C. Let's render this out, and I'm gonna like reverse it, pitch it, run it through Portal. But for right now, let's see what it sounds like reversed and like pitched up maybe by 3. Up by 4 is kind of crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. Let's bring in Analog Labs. Let's delete the MIDI and let's go back into that same string. But now I'm gonna put that string into some Portal. This first one will do digital tape toys. Boom, like that. Now it'll sound like this. Then that same Analog Lab preset. Let's go. Clone it, get that other preset I was talking about. This one right here. This Icy Violin goes crazy. What got you into like wanting to produce, if you like remember like where it started?
It was like Deadmau5 and Skrillex and that dubstep EDM wave. They were dropping a lot of electronic music. I heard that Scary Monsters and Ice Sprites EP by Skrillex. I was like, how did they make this music? Like, how do you even make a song do this? Yeah, it usually came from just listening to EDM music in that era. That's what kind of got me into making music today.
Hold on, what if we had this go over here like that? Wait. This is about to go crazy. This is fire, bruh. Now I want to add a vocal to this, so I think I'm either going to go into the Doomed multi-kit or Arcade. All right, so inside Arcade, the Distant Voices library, I got the native land preset opened up. I have F sharp minor selected because that's the key we're working in now. Then I got the vocals running in this processing chain right here. It's one of my favorite ones I've made in a while, and we're just going to add some vocals in. So let's see what works and try to get something cool. Oh, hold on. Ooh. Wait, do they have one that drops down? Hold on. Oh, this might be it. Yeah, bro, that goes crazy. So you started in FL as well and been in FL since? Still in FL?
I started out in like using Ableton for a little bit when I first got into it, because my older brother, he was into making music before me. So like I would use his computer and he had Ableton installed. He had different programs, but we didn't really get into FL Studio until I linked up with my uncle around 2012, and he had a spare computer that was just laying around and he gave it to us. He wanted me and my brothers to share it. There was a bunch of programs on there and he had FL Studio on there, and I got curious because it was like a jalapeno logo and I was like, well, what is this FL Studio? And then me and my brother started messing with it, and it really came from there. Like if you check my Instagram profile, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of my Instagram profile, you'll see like pictures from that time. That was exactly the time when I was using FL.
If you haven't tried Arcade and you're interested in trying it, I do have an affiliate link in the description which will give you a 30-day free trial, so make sure to check that out. So now all we need to do is arrange this. So now let's just stem this out real quick, make it easy for him to be able to cook up to it. So this is actually going to go like this. We're gonna have to do like 16 bars for this with like 4-bar loops, or my bad, these are 16 and then 4-bar spaces. So let's bring this over and just do a quick stem out of this, and I go over here and hit Control T, and that's just going to place markers so that you can know like where to cut it when you export the loop. But you got to do something specific in order to make this work. And we hit Control A, that's the whole loop. See how it's all selected. Then we go over here, go like this, go right here and render, and we'll put this to 24 and let this render out. And then we could like pitch it and see if we want it to be a different pitch, but I could always just send it to him like this, and you know, he could pitch it and do whatever he wants with it. That actually brings me to my next question, because I've been wondering like, where did the name ROCKTEE come from?
I was at St. Augustine Catholic School, and I had he's still my best friend to this day. I call him, his name's Uriel Gonzalez, and we used to draw characters in school. You know, when we were bored, we didn't want to pay attention in class because that was boring, so we would just draw, and then we would give the characters names. And then one of the characters that we drew, he was in the shape of a T, and we just called him ROCKTEE. I think later on, like when I was making beats in like 2012, I was just thinking about, man, what name can I go by? I wasn't going by ROCKTEE at first. I was going by, like, you know how like when you first make a SoundCloud account, it had user something something. That was what I was going by at first. I remember, hey, ROCKTEE was a name that I remember very, very well, and I just picked out that name, and then I stuck with it. Like, yeah, I just stuck with it.
All right, so now we double click this, we go right here, edit audio, and I always delete this first loop, and then all we need to do is cut out this extra space on this last out right here. So boom, we go like that, and then I do a quick fade. That's all good. Go like this, and then drop it down just like 1 or 2, drag it out, make sure that it ends where it's supposed to. Yep, it does, perfect. And now if we want, we can preview this and just see what it would sound like in different ranges. I'm not gonna lie, I think ROCKTEE would like this pitch better. So this would be G sharp minor if I pitch it up. So I'm gonna just pitch it up real quick and then send it to him at G sharp minor, and then we'll see what he does with it. So let's jump into some more of the music stuff, bro. I already went over at the beginning of this video like a whole bunch of your placements, bro. The list is crazy. What was your first placement that you got?
It was with Euro Got It and with Gunna. Euro Got It He was an artist from Atlanta, and I met him through YouTube. He was commenting on my videos. He had DM'd me on Instagram. He had paid for a feature with Gunna, but this was before Gunna was like really on the run that he is on currently today. He's, you know, he's legendary. That was really like the first time I was like really excited, like, yo, I got a big artist on my song. Because at that time he had I think came out with his first few projects. He wasn't really on the project run that he's on right now, so it was still exciting either way, because where I'm from in Dallas, Texas, he had a buzz, so I just kept it going. Ever since that first placement, it was kind of like, you know, if you can get a song with him, you can get a song with anybody else. So I just kept it going.
That's crazy. And what year was this? Do you remember?
It was 2018.
What's like a piece of advice that you could give to maybe a producer who's trying to get some placements and get into like the placement type of thing, or send out to artists or build with an artist and whatnot, just from everything you started with? I know you already gave a lot of game and how you did it, but if you just had like one piece of advice for like a up and coming producer.
I'd recommend networking and reaching out to producers, because that's what helped me in the very beginning to even be on this path. Shout out to Lone Star Music. He's a very, very talented producer from my city. He was the one that mentioned BeatStars and having a YouTube channel to begin with. I'd recommend, you know, if you're not really familiar with a lot of things, talk to people. Like, the more that you open up and talk to people, you'll get that experience quicker, because they'll tell you from the mistakes that they've made or based off their experience. So that's how I ended up getting into the right direction, was by listening to someone else's experience, not being afraid to be in the same room and show like yourself as being a student. And I still want to be a student to this day. I don't ever
stop learning.
I don't ever want to get to that point where I feel like I have learned enough. There's a lot of skills and things that we need to develop in order to become the best versions of ourselves. It's perfect to just reach out to people and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Fun stuff. Go to VST for melodies.
I like the Analog Labs Arturia V9. That's really one of the, I would say, the most diverse selection of sounds to really work with whenever you're trying to start a beat or a melody. If you're debating on buying the Analog, you know, Arturia V9 bundle, please buy it. It's
bunch
worth
of stuff and
money.
too much sounds in there, bro. And then last one, you can only choose one of these, bro, so you got to think about this for a second. You could only use claps or snares for the rest of your life. Which one are you choosing?
Snares.
Snares?
Yeah, snares.
Claps are gone. No rethinking it. Snares only.
I think snares, because you could at least go into FL11, turn on Legacy Effects, and then you could adjust it into a clap. That's what I'm thinking, because it's much more waveform to deal with claps just too flat, so it's not really much to work with. So I'm thinking
that makes
would
sense.
go with the snares.
All right, bro. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing all the gems. Definitely gonna be dope for the community to hear. I'm excited to see, you know, what else you have, because it's gonna be nothing but plaques and more placements coming your way for sure.
Both of our way, man. We're steady working, we're steady grinding. I appreciate you having me on here always.
Yes, sir.
ROCKTEE go crazy.
That's the end of the video. This is definitely going to be one of my favorite ones to come out in a while. And of course, big shout out to ROCKTEE for coming on the channel today, doing the cook up and the interview. All his links can be found in the description down below. Appreciate you guys for watching as always. If you did like this new style of content, let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to see more of it, drop a comment down below and let me know. Shout out to ROCKTEE. Definitely dropped a whole bunch of gems in that interview right there. The cook up went crazy. That's all I got to say, man. Till the next video, peace.